Hello and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, a Star Trek podcast. My name is Caitlin, and with me today are...
Jake!
Chris.
Ames. And we're here for episode 315.
Ames doing a fool on everyone. We do
I
not have a guest.
I lost count.
Yeah, no, there is no fifth. It's just the four of us.
I miscounted the men.
Yeah.
The man!
It's okay, it's a mistake that we've all made. And we're here today to talk not about 2, but 3 episodes of Star Trek The Voyager.
Oh shit,
Yeah.
talk fast.
The penultimate episode.
I blame that two-parter the other week that kind of screwed up the schedule. If not for that, it would have worked out.
And that didn't need to be 2 parts.
Yeah.
They rarely do, though. That's the problem.
There was a Stargate episode that did the same fucking thing in one episode. So it can be done, guys.
Wait, which one was the 2-parter that you didn't like? Oh, Workforce? I loved Workforce.
I
thought it was
Workforce.
perfect.
I know that I disliked it, but I think if they paired it into a single episode, it would have been better.
More focused.
And if it had been
Yeah.
one episode, we would have bitched that it felt too rushed.
I don't know. It's true.
Possible. Very possible.
Well,
it sounds like us.
It does. The 3 episodes that we're going to discuss today are Natural Law, Homestead, and Renaissance Man.
Yeah.
Alright, Natural Law, which I noted human nature? Or whatever? Natural Law? Question mark? I couldn't remember what it was called when I took these notes.
Meh.
7 and Chakotay find themselves stranded on a planet inhabited by the primitive Ventu people. Chakotay, when they land, he's got a broken leg and he starts to become infected, and the Ventu heal him. And they start to teach him their language and tell him where the mountains are and where the river is. And I didn't write this part down, this part I'm ad-libbing. You know how Trump will go off the teleprompter? That's what's happening now. I wrote a thing.
Caitlin 2024.
Dude, whatever.
Yeah, my vote.
I'm old enough now. I could. But yeah, at first 7 is super suspicious of these people and is like, oh, they're bad maybe. And nope, they're not. They're great. They're very simple folk. They're fine. Don't make that face. They're good people. They're just, they're not technologically advanced, and that's fine. So yeah, they heal Chakotay, and one of them saves 7 when she trips and falls in a most unconvincing way and loses her tricorder. Ugh! Oh no!
Yeah, they somehow have a sewer grate for it to fall down, despite not having sewers.
Well, they got Ninja Turtles, so you gotta have someplace to keep them. So, the thing is, the reason why they crashed was because there's this invisible barrier around this planet, and of course they can't send communications through the barrier, so they're like, well, let's find our wrecked shuttle and make it into a communicator. That always works. That works every fucking time. They should just start packing like an emergency beacon thing on a shuttle that you don't have to make out of shuttle parts.
Well, see, they do, but that's always lost and or destroyed.
Well, the other problem is that they can't really get anything through that energy shield.
Yeah, that's true. They have to magic up a beacon with the deflector.
Well, I know, but no, they magic up 2 things, don't they? They do a deflect,
Maybe.
but also do a communicate.
Well, the deflector was to disable
That's right.
the shield,
Right.
and then they could just use their regular communicator.
That's right.
Well,
Did
luckily,
we use nanopros?
No.
not this time.
Wow.
Luckily,
Different.
though, 7 is smart as fuck, and she figures out not only how to bring down the shield, but also how to communicate with Voyager. Enter these alien fuckbags led by...
Varus?
Is it Barris?
Yeah, the
Ladosian?
Elam fuckbago.
So, yeah, the Ladosians, Wow, I'm getting Homestead Natural Law. This is why I wrote this shit down. I should have just stuck to the script. I wrote it.
Well,
it's all right here.
They're all on the same planet.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're
Yeah,
not.
Yeah, they are.
They're on a different part of the planet.
I thought they were on a different planet.
No.
I thought they couldn't get into
the shield is
They
only
can't
in
get
one
into the
section.
shield is like covering the. There's like it's like a preserve.
Yeah.
To keep the.
Yeah, to keep them unspoilt.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I thought it was a
It's like
totally
Jurassic
separate...
Park.
Nope, same. Yeah. I feel like you put a big old dome over the Amish for a couple centuries.
It's like it's the North Sentinel Island people, is what it is.
They need a dome. We gotta stop going anywhere near them.
Well, anyway, the Ladosians are super hyped that this shield thing is down because they can't wait to just rape the land of its minerals and resources and who knows what else. And Seven's like, shit. also,
Good Seven impersonation.
Thank you. That's exactly what Jerry Ryan says. But she stays on planet because one of the Ventu, the girl that helped her actually and gave her a nice blanket, is injured during deflection of the shield or whatever. So she's like, I'm gonna stay and heal you. And then she's like, wait, what are you guys doing here? And the Ladosians are like, this is great. We love this place. We're gonna take all this stuff. No, yeah, we'll totally take care of these people. We'll teach them how to do things.
Assimilate. We'll assimilate
We're
them.
bringing them Christianity.
And Seven's like, oh no, I've done something horrible. So she, wait, is this the one with that stupid, oh my god, it is. So,
Tom's driver's
have,
ed.
Yeah, we have Tom Paris takes driver's ed. And
subplot.
It's so weird. He's chilling with this old dude, Clegg, who kind of reminds me of the guy who plays Barnaby or whatever the fuck his name is. Boothby, thank you.
Oh.
He's got that vibe. It's not the same actor, but he's got a vibe.
I see it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to teach you how to drive. You don't have to drive so fast, Tom. Jeez. But,
Janeway's like, prime directive, prime directive, prime directive.
yeah, they're always saying that. But then, and they're like, well, too bad, we don't care, we're gonna stay. And she's like, well, we're gonna take back our deflector, and you'll have to leave, so you've got 5 minutes to get the fuck out. And they're like, no, we don't think so. And they, shoot their transporters, don't they? Don't they, shoot out their transporters? Or is that another episode?
They do.
They do, yeah. That's why they have to have Tom.
So they can't transport the deflector out.
You know who does have transporters?
So they're like, hey, Tom, you want to go shoot some shit? And Tom's like, fuck yeah, driver's ed is stupid. And he goes and he blows up the deflector, and he just happens to make it through a tiny little hole that's in the exact right spot for him to fit his Delta Flyer through to make good his escape.
And he also kidnaps all the anthropologists.
And his driver's ed instructor, who he kills off screen.
Yes.
No, I mean, they probably just transport them back to...
Who he kills off screen.
They probably just transport him back down to the planet on the non-shielded side.
Yeah, that's what I agree with Caitlin.
Look, the driver's ed guy is the second worst character since Henry Janeway.
Whoa!
Dude,
really?
So
serious?
I
I
am
loved
telling
him.
myself...
Damn!
No way, I liked him. I thought he was funny.
Chris feels about this man the way I feel about the turd people.
Which ones are they?
We'll see them later.
Oh, the Homestead people?
Oh, yeah,
The
no.
Renaissance people.
Oh, the Renaissance people. Yeah, whatever. I don't know.
I'm just hijacking. I hated this whole episode. Everyone and everything in it.
I mean, there was some pretty bad shit.
It was fucking awful.
It was like, I wonder, though. I wonder if I would have liked this episode better without the pan flutes.
There was so much.
Because,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, we're not strictly doing a Chakotay spiritualism thing, which they haven't done in a while, mercifully.
Yeah.
He didn't bring up on my people at all.
He didn't bring up on my people.
Which I'm sure the writers were tempted to do.
Did he get naked when he met these
he
people?
thought
No,
about
which
it.
is part of the reason it sucks.
He was injured, so he couldn't.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The moment that made
Fair
it
enough.
kind of uncomfortable for me was when he traded jewelry with them, and I'm like, that's never led to anything bad.
No.
Oh no, Chakotay.
See,
he just bought Manhattan.
He just bought the mountain.
Yeah, no, this episode was fucking trash. I was bored to tears. I despised the B plot and the instructor. What does Janeway care if Tom has a license for this one system? It doesn't matter.
I think...
And it doesn't make sense that it's like, oh, your ship doesn't fit our protocols. We're not from here. Go fuck yourself.
We're leaving.
Yeah,
I think it was as much about Janeway finding joy and Tom getting taken down a peg.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all it is, but it's still dumb, and mostly was there so that they'd have a reason for Tom to be out on the flyer when the plot needed him to be. And, what the plot should have been was figuring out a way out of the dome way faster, and then actually dealing with the ethical ramifications of exposing a long uncontacted people to a new society. That's interesting.
Yeah, but no.
Not the plot we got.
We needed a whole bunch of, noble savage fucking bullshit.
Yeah, and this had the same problem as that stupid TOS one, where
The
a bunch
apple?
of Native Americans had been kidnapped.
Oh, Paradise Syndrome.
It's like, okay, so you were sealed away from outer society for literally centuries, possibly even longer this time than those Native Americans had been, I don't know, and you didn't develop a jot.
You've brought this up before, and I'm going to slap you in the face about it a little bit, because not developing a jot, you don't know how their development is. Developing isn't necessarily the same as we go from, the Stone Age to the Bronze Age to the Iron Age to the next age to having fucking, It's ChatGPT. Their development could just be, hey, we have this tree, and now we have this other tree. And that's still development.
I mean, also, I think that's like, not to call you out, Chris, but that's a very colonialist perspective.
These people are literally still living in caves. They haven't even invented a hut yet.
But here's the thing, like...
Caves are great.
Well, don't the Mintakans used to live in caves, and then they lived in huts, because huts are better.
For the Mintakans, not necessarily for these people.
Yes. But, like, who's to say what's developed? Like, what's better? I mean, if it's working for them, I think because you can also look at the North Sentinelese or these uncontacted tribes in the Amazon, where it's like, yeah, they've also been living in these places for thousands of years and haven't, they
don't have ChatGPT.
They did discover the hut. They got that far, but they haven't done.
Like, that's the thing. Like, these people are still literally cavemen.
You can still develop in a cave.
I know, but there's no sign that they, like, there's just no, because I'm not saying they had to develop in a way that's, there's just no sign they have anything beyond subsistence existence, which
they have language and culture and art. Did you see that blanket? It was great.
It was really nice.
Fine. I'm just saying, like, most cultures, I think, on the planet, at the very least, try to get beyond just simple subsistence, They want to have at least a little excess, and there was very little sign of that here.
I don't know, they seemed really happy. Did you see how happy she was about the waterfall?
Yeah, she did love waterfall.
Yeah, she appreciated beauty. Good for her.
I also do wonder, though, so they explain that the shield was installed by aliens.
Species 312 or something?
Yeah.
You think it's the same ones? I was thinking that.
What, the white aliens that came to...
No, the ones that kidnapped the Native Americans and stuck them on a planet with a meteorite deflector.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah, it could be them. But, I mean, there are aliens that certainly take an interest in, like, undeveloped cultures.
Like injustice or something.
They try to preserve the status quo of different cultures.
Actually, not justice. Bem. The lady, the god entity in Bem does that.
Yeah.
True.
So... But here's the thing.
It's the one not shit thing about Bam.
I feel like, because presumably they can't easily leave the shield either.
They couldn't at all.
They're trapped in there as much as the other people are trapped out. So any chance that they had at developing, like, they're only ever going to have what's available in their bubble.
Yeah, no, it's sort of a nightmare. I was thinking of that too. Like, if they, ever tried to get further out.
How do they have weather? Does weather get in?
Maybe it's porous.
Interesting. So if instead of while they were crashing into it, if Chakotay had peed out the side, that would have gone through.
I mean, eventually, like if it wasn't porous, eventually everyone would suffocate because they would just run out of air. Actually, no. Maybe there's enough. It's big enough, and there's enough vegetation to be self-sustaining. Who knows?
Interesting.
But yeah, so I don't know. It's interesting because if you look at look at Native American cultures, right? Like a lot of them were very sophisticated, very advanced cultures. Yeah. But when the Europeans got here, they're like, savages! We must bring them Jesus!
Yeah, we have to advance them because they're not our kind of advanced.
Yeah, exactly. So there's that attitude that's like, sure. And it's interesting. I think we talked about this previously about how like the South American, Native American cultures tended to have like more technology and more like construction technology and things like that, whereas if you look at like the North American cultures, like those that are around here, they were living in huts and things like that. They weren't building metropolises. And I think a lot of it just has to do with the climate of where they are and what resources were available.
I was just thinking resources is a very large
resources
element.
and climate are like the key.
Yeah.
Like Europe has like the perfect climate for European civilizations to develop, because it's not too hot, not too cold. It's got tons of access to the sea. It's got resources.
Yeah, exploited animals.
Yeah. So like
delicious.
It was inevitable, I think, that Europe kind of turned into Europe. But then, around here, New England, it gets fucking impossibly cold in the winter, impossibly hot in the summer.
Doesn't get cold in the winter anymore.
Not anymore. Back in
instead
the day.
we get wildfire smoke.
We also don't have a lot of domesticatable animals here. In fact, I don't know that we have any native domesticatable animals in like this part
in Northern America.
Yeah, like South America, you at least have like llamas and alpacas that are domesticatable, which like is extremely important for agriculture to develop because if you don't have domesticatable animals, you can't
till fields.
Yeah, you basically are forced to remain hunter-gatherer for as long as you're there. You look at like Europe, they got tons of domesticatable animals. They got sheeps and goats and cows and things like that, right? So I don't know. I think what we classify as like developed or undeveloped or advanced or like primitive are very much based in circumstances of where they are and when.
I just need these motherfuckers to not be living in caves.
Yeah, but like here's the thing, like what do you build a hut out of? Like leather or like
wood and mud.
They had a lot of plants.
Yeah.
They had a whole fucking forest.
Maybe their summers are really hot and the cave is naturally cooling.
There you go.
And they're also obviously naturally warming because like that's where animals hibernate.
And also like you got to consider just like from a need perspective, like you might not build huts if they're not better than your cave. So like the reason why huts are better than caves
to the Mintakans
or like just generally speaking, I would think is because like caves are damp. You know, you can get molds and funguses and things growing in caves.
There's bats.
There's animals that go into caves.
You have more control over a hut.
Yeah, with a hut you can like ventilate it well.
You can close the door on the animals.
Yeah. So there's reasons why we might think that a hut's good, but maybe in this particular environment the cave is just fine. Like maybe the shield makes it so that the caves don't become damp and gross. So I don't know. Before I would call them like primitives, I'd just be like, you know, why?
Yeah, I just still feel like the unintended implication is like, again, I don't think this is what they were going for, but it just feels like, I mean, on the one hand, we destroyed these civilizations, but on the other hand, we brought them the Ford Fiesta.
Now they live in that. Fuck those caves.
I like when Jake cosplays as Chakotay.
Well,
he puts the little tattoo on.
Speaking of Akuchi Moya, we didn't get any Akuchi Moya, and I feel like of all the episodes where an Akuchi Moya would have fit,
I think Akuchi Moya never fits, and they were right not to.
Oh,
use
absolutely! I'm glad they resisted the urge.
Okay, cool.
Because
we've come a long way from can't your people turn into birds? Wow, thanks,
God.
First episode racist fucking asshole Tom. But, I, for one, appreciate their restraint.
Yeah, but still...
I was promised a lot more Native American racism in this show, and it kind of stopped.
It's not living up to the hype.
Well,
the thing is,
it was still uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think I got about as much cringing as I expected. It just happened all at once instead of over the course of 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because, bird people, great white aliens bringing culture to sad... savages or whatever.
And that's right. I feel like this maybe could have been their chance to kind of...
a redemption arc.
Do that stuff better. Like, if they really had, again, if earlier on we opened the bubble, and there's sort of this, this could have been a way to have him bring up his background, better researched, and be like, well, hey, hold on now. Or something. Like, again, that was the more interesting part, but that happened in, with 10 minutes left of the damn episode. Also, it was weird they went to Janeway to be like, you have to stop this. She was like, I was already planning to? Like, there's no tension here. I was already gonna turn it off. It's fine. You don't have to convince me. What?
Yeah.
We need to remove our technology.
Yeah, I was doing that regardless.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of those weird, questionable areas with the Prime Directive, because... in a way, Janeway's hiding behind the Prime Directive to justify turning the shield off. But turning the shield off is, in a sense, also interfering, because...
Well, it's there are definitely episodes of Trek where people have sort of used the justification of, well, this culture has clearly already been interfered with, so fuck it.
Yeah, we did crash through your barrier, so we're there, we've been found. We have to clean up as much as we can.
Like, because they're not an uncontacted people because of natural isolation. It's this unnatural isolation, but it doesn't change the fact that they have created a unique society. And if they know they leave it open, these other people are going to storm in, kill them. I mean, relocate them and steal their resources. Which also, like, guys, you're a spacefaring society now. You've still had most of the planet to yourself. What could possibly be in this one area that you're going to, like...
Oil. Definitely oil.
Gold.
Dilithium.
It's just like...
Ooh, latinum.
Potential slaves.
Oh, yeah, definitely that. Lots of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Seven does a really nice job when she comes around into realizing, oh, okay, I guess it's not better for what's their name? The Ventu to be fucked with by the Ladosians. It would be an erasure of their culture and their individual, like, uniqueness, which Seven, as a former Borg, now really likes to champion.
Yeah.
Saying, like, oh yeah, being an individual, I learned is great.
Yeah.
You people should be who you want to be and not have stuff forced on you. I get it. And she does this really nice defense of the Prime Directive in a way that's worded like it's not backhanding you over the face with it.
Yeah, no, and again, that's the thing that would have been better if it didn't have to be so fast, because this conflict came up so late and had to be dealt with so quickly.
Yeah.
Like, most of the episode was just Seven learning to be okay with not being indoors, and Chakotay being, oh no, they're copying us.
We forgot a little bit, too, that Chakotay does also fancy himself an anthropologist a little bit.
Yeah, I would have...
And I felt like even though he did a great job kind of like learning the language, like he did kind of a Nemesis a little bit.
Yeah.
Like kind of like learning how to communicate with the people, which was, it was nice to watch. It was good Chakotay stuff. Always good to see.
Yeah.
But I feel like he should have even like just reminded everyone, like, hey everyone, remember, I've said multiple times I like anthropology.
Well, that's kind of how they wind... I mean, I feel like Seven literally is like, this isn't an anthropological mission, dickface.
Yeah.
We're supposed to go to a conference. And he's like, yeah, but they did my tattoo.
Plus, we're kind of... Well, see, that's when he starts to freak out. That's when he's like, oh, shit.
You guys didn't talk to the tattoo alien.
Oh, the captain's gonna be
Were they
mad.
doing his tattaoo or Seven's eye?
Both.
They did.
Okay. Oh, I missed the tattoo then. I only saw the eye.
Oh, yeah, there was a whole bunch of dudes who had drawn on the tattoo.
Oh,
There was only the one woman that had some technology strapped to her face, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was actually kind of like that scene in, I can't remember what it's called, but the one where the doctor becomes a celebrity for 10 minutes. And, like, there's that line of people, and, like, 3 of the men have shaved their head. Virtuoso. Like, one guy turns around and has the tattoo, and Chakotay's like, ah, shit. And then, like, 2 more guys turn around grinning like idiots at him, like, we got it too! And he's like, oh, double shit.
Yeah.
Good impression of Chakotay.
Thank you. Been working on it for days.
It's not as good as my impression of Jerry Ryan, but you're getting there.
I noticed something.
Tell me.
Seven sleeps.
Oh, yeah.
But we don't know if it was, like, regenerative sleep.
Yeah,
we know that she slept.
Well, I can tell you it certainly wasn't. She was propped up against a fucking tree. Nobody's getting regenerative sleep.
Yeah, but we talked about
against
this
a
recently. We
tree.
talked about this last week because, like, she doesn't normally sleep. She normally just regenerates.
Well, okay. Maybe, she's far enough along that if she sleeps, she gets something out of it, but just out of habit kind of prefers that. I bet she needs to regenerate for a shorter amount of time than she would need to sleep.
Just imagining she gets back to Voyager, like, oh, finally I can get a nice long stand in my own cargo bay.
It's funny, you made me think, though, her propped against a tree. I just immediately thought of Lampy and the Brave Little Toaster.
Oh, when he slams his head down on the rock.
Lampy.
After fluffing it.
Yeah, he fluffs the rock and then
love Lampy
oh,
so
man,
much.
can we do that movie? It's about adventure.
Good God, I rewatched that recently, and
it's so dark,
I forgot
my
what a
dude.
fucking hallucinogenic mind trip that movie is.
Oh,
that movie was for children.
Technically.
Yeah, the auto.
Oh my God, that
scene.
sequence.
I love that fucking sequence.
That's a great song.
It is.
It is.
So catchy and so horrifying at the same time.
I love it.
The scene in which the flower falls in love with, like, it's a reflection in the toaster.
Oh, and then it gets...
And then when it leaves, it dies?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
No wonder we all have anxiety and depression.
Bring it back to this.
I don't have those things. I have medication.
I noticed that 7 still refers to some species by their Borg designation because she wouldn't know what they're called otherwise.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a nice little touch.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, this reminds me of species whatever the fuck. And Chakotay's like, I'm sure it does.
Species 311.
I feel like that's how it works in universe, and in the real world, there's like, I don't feel like coming up with a name. Just slap a fucking number on it so I can go get lunch.
How ironic, though, that the species that was so interested in, like, preserving cultures ended up getting Borged.
Yeah, I wonder if they wiped them out, or if just, like, enough of them were destroyed that they were, like, kind of lost track of their various projects.
I don't know. Yeah, it is a shame, though, right? Because it's a shame that the Ledosians, is that the thing is? That they are so incapable of not being dicks. Because, there's probably would be some benefit for some form of contact there, but if they're just going to go in there and exploit and destroy.
And the Ventu could teach them something, because they had a fucking bone-mending, infection-fighting poultice.
Yeah. It also is interesting, just in Star Trek terms, to feature a culture that doesn't speak linguistically. They use
they must have
sign.
done that so that we couldn't fall back on the translators, right? Not that Chakotay could have anyway, because they smushed his communicator.
Yeah, they could all they can always just be like, the translators must have
dampening field.
So but I still think it's.
But it's
cool.
a little more creative to be like they actually speak sign language.
Yeah,
actually, there you go. That's development. It's actually easier for like little children to do signs than speak. So actually, maybe they used to speak. And also, this lends itself to, like, quietly signing to people when you're on the hunt or trying to hide or whatever. So, there you go. Maybe that's development. Maybe that's a feather in their development cap.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, it was nice to see that, because normally, they were either verbal or, like, those little aliens you liked a few weeks ago.
Exocomps. So what? Oh, the Phantom Ace people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were psychic, but also took up beeping and booping so the doctor could understand them.
Super awesome 80s synthwave musicians.
I loved them.
I did too. Mostly because music.
They moved a little bit too much like monkeys for my liking, and monkeys creep me out.
Oh, God. Hopefully they weren't just chimps in suits.
Oh, no, like
what's it from the original
the
Battlestar?
Daggett.
Jesus
The
Christ,
Daggett.
that thing.
Yeah, that was horrifying.
Bro, imagine what, like...
They're lucky it didn't flip out and kill the child.
Say, how did the chimpanzee not just fucking kill everybody?
I like to imagine...
They kept it heavily drugged.
I'd say they had the real-life Muldoon just off camera the whole time with a trank gun just in case.
Clever girl.
Probably for the best. I made a comment to myself when they're first swooping over the people, or they look over the people and they spot them like, oh, there's people here. We can't do the cultural contamination thing. They must either they're pre-warp or worse, camping.
Oh God, I do not understand the appeal.
I just don't want to piss outside.
Dude,
that sounds
pissing
horrible.
outside is amazing. Shitting outside, that's bad.
See, because pissing outside is so much harder for you.
Yeah, but, no, because you fucking squat down.
You're assuming I'm not wearing anything down there then.
Dude, you pull down your shit.
That's an inconvenience. I'm not doing that.
Do you pull down your pants to pee at home?
I don't do that in the middle of space.
I'm just saying. There's nothing wrong. Peeing outside is great. It's liberating. You should try it.
Get it on your socks.
I mean,
you
only
don't have
if
to
you're...
pee on your feet.
Yeah, the key to it is...
You don't see what I got going on down there.
The key to it is...
It's very different for ladies.
The key to it
that's
is...
right. I forgot about that
The key to it is peeing downhill and making sure that your legs are far apart. Your feet have to be past your knees.
So I have to take my pants entirely off.
And squat over a hill so that if you lose your balance, you're rolling down a hill into the piss you just took.
Well, if you're that stupid, you deserve it.
That is awful.
Well, whatever.
One more note.
That's all right. Come on, readers. Who enjoys pissing outdoors?
Wow. So we finally get back in touch with the Voyager, and they're like, okay, we'll beam you up. And Seven's like, no, just beam Chakotay up. He needs medical assistance. I'm going to stay here. So they obviously beamed Chakotay up. But did they do that in front of everyone? They never showed.
Let's go with yes.
Probably.
Damn it, the Voyager.
You mean
Besides,
the Chakotay?
He didn't need medical attention that bad. That he was healing, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
He had a cane, walking stick.
It
he
seems
was
like
fine.
these people were pretty nonplussed by
True.
advanced technology. It wasn't like you would think that they would be freaking out about, the lightning coming off of the deflector thing, and they just seem to be like,
Zack that
it
girl.
did. I mean, it
Well, yeah,
did.
because that dumb
Because
shit
they
was
weren't-
up there trying to touch
Yeah.
it. She was like, "What that?"
But it's not like they're like, oh my god, they command the power of the gods themselves.
Well, that's because they would have done it in sign language. It would have looked like this.
The audience doesn't know
Wow,
what
that's an
what
amazing
Caitlin's
signing.
doing.
Do you like
I
that?
see
That
what
was
you
really
did there.
good. That
Very
was a
neat.
really good
Very
sign.
neat.
Thanks.
Um,
I've studied my whole life to be this good.
One thing that also surprised me, again, I guess I'm appreciating this episode more for its restraint than for what it did do. Another thing it didn't do was romance,
True.
which
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like waiting for that.
Between Chakotay and Seven, or between Chakotay and everybody?
Chakotay and Seven, because it's like, okay, they're trapped on this planet.
Yeah.
Chakotay's
Well,
hurt.
only because he wasn't well enough to make her a tub.
That's
I
true.
mean, if he had been able to get up and make a tub, it would have been game over.
Panties on the ground.
Yeah, and especially with what
And
they
then she
set
could
up.
pee outdoors.
Excellent.
They basically had set it up that Seven has a crush on Chakotay.
Yeah.
I thought for sure that was going to play a factor.
I don't know. I'd like it. They're very pretty people.
Yeah, I was gonna
would
ask,
love to
'cause-
watch them squish their their naughty bits together.
You missed our episode where we covered human error, something like
Human
that.
error, yeah.
With the Chakotay 7 startings of romance, but it's actually a Holoc Chakotay.
Yeah.
How much did you accidentally fall in love with Chakotay? Because
Dude,
I did.
I was already falling in big fucking love with Chakotay. Like, Robert Beltran is a very good looking man, and they don't give him enough to do.
I will say, I think had this come before Human Error,
It would have made more
Huh.
sense.
yes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, like, I can see why she decided to make a program of him now.
Well, it's logical. Look at her other options. Shit. Speaking of her other options,
Tom Morello.
I wanted. Oh, there you go. I wanted to pivot us.
Yes.
What does everyone think Tom's infraction was? Because I'm gonna.
Oh, they never do say.
They
do
never say, and I'm gonna say failure to signal, like everyone in Massachusetts.
Does the Delta Flyer have turn signals?
Sure, why not?
Well, I
Yeah, the
don't know.
little. That's what a Bussard collector can actually flash.
Ah.
It was missing a whole lot of shit. He didn't happen to
I
mention
think
that,
he was
though.
just rip-roaring drunk doing donuts. You know?
Ugh, God, I just.
He was ghost riding the whip.
I know this is not the last we will see of it, but there is nothing I hate. Well, there's plenty I hate more, but one of the things I hate so much in Star Trek are just pompous aliens that just need to be told to go fuck themselves.
And yet you love the Paterno people,
The what people?
the
I
hierarchy people.
well, yeah, because people do tell them to go fuck themselves.
Ah, I
Like-
do every day.
Yeah, like no one, it's just I just tell these people to get fucked already. Like people tell the potato people to get fucked. This guy though, Tom just sits there and grins and bears it, and it's just like, ugh.
Well, because for all he knows is if he doesn't take the course, he'll be put to death. You never know what you're
No,
dealing
I
with
know.
these fucking people.
Hated that guy.
Plus,
though.
these people are fucking Captain Planet villains.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't want to be like, no, I'm not taking your stupid...
Yeah, no, that's why in my
Driver's ed
head
course.
canon, Tom very safely delivered the other people, but stuffed the driver's ed guy into the torpedo tube and shot him into the ocean.
No way, I liked him. It's nice to see Tom get taken down a notch.
That's the problem, is this, like, I don't like either of them enough. It's like, I don't want you to be the one taking, I want B'Elanna to take him down a notch, or Neelix,
And she frequently does.
Yeah, but not often.
Every time they bang, she definitely comes out on top.
Ew.
I didn't mean it that way, but that
It
way
works
also.
in every way.
It does.
Speaking of a segue to the next episode,
Yay.
Oh, shit.
You found a segue.
Oh, a segue.
I genuinely blanked on what the hell the next episode is. Fuck.
Speaking of shields,
Yep.
barriers, and Captain Planet villains,
Ooh, she's right.
she is right.
I
Tell
still
us about it.
genuinely can't remember what it is.
It's Homestead.
Homestead. Well, Chris,
Coaxium.
it says here...
Right, Jesus.
Let's tell Chris.
It
Fuck.
says here, Neelix, Paris, and Tuvok take the Delta Flyer into an asteroid field to find the source of several hundred Talaxian life signs,
Friends.
and find more than they bargained for.
Nice.
The
You-
Great intro.
That should be the episode description on Paramount Plus.
should.
That should be the episode description for like 80% of Star Trek episodes.
True.
Yeah, find more than they bargained for, definitely. The Talaxians' new home is under threat of being destroyed by Captain Planet villains, the Nakona. Rather than
Thanks.
give up and run, Neelix convinces the last of his people to stand and fight, and manages to erect a barrier to keep the would-be colonizers out. He then leaves the show to be with his new Talax family and breaks Caitlyn's heart. If you told Season 1 Caitlyn that Season 7 Caitlyn would fucking weep like a baby
Ditto.
when fucking Neelix
Yep,
left,
I was
she
waiting
would have
for it.
legitimately been like, no, you're a fucking liar.
I
But
said-
I'm going to tell you right now, I cried a lot.
I said to Jake as we were watching, I was like, oh boy,
Caitlyn's crying a
the,
lot.
the tears are coming, but at least I know Caitlyn's crying with me.
Big time.
Ethan
Big time.
Phillips plays that scene so just
All
a
of the
little.
scenes.
I know, but just a little lip quiver, like.
Which one?
But he just, I mean, throughout the scene. But I mean,
I
like,
know.
it's
Which scene?
the very
the
end when
farewell
he's
scene.
yeah,
When he's leaving.
like he's just looking around. Like he could have gone too far, and he didn't. And I've said it before, but that man is not given enough credit, especially considering he's under so much makeup.
Yeah, he probably spends 4 hours longer on set every fucking time he's on just because of all that goddamn makeup. But yeah, man, what a great... fuck Ethan... man, he's great.
It's also
I'm so sad.
just such a logical end for his arc because of the whole thing where, like, you know, we found out ages ago that he sort of fled a war on his homeworld and has been feeling bad about it ever since.
Yeah, and this kind of brings that back all the way around to literally Season 1 of Voyager.
Yep.
And says he's going to make up for this wrong by helping his own people.
And he has a new child he can groom. All the way back
Oh
around.
god.
Oh no!
I'm sorry, I'm just kidding.
He was
But
like-
I did
he
think
was like-
when he's talking to him and stuff in the beginning, he's like, no, I won't tell your mom. Come talk to me. Tell me things. What's that
No, but
So
shit?
what you're saying is Naomi was getting too old?
Definitely. She told him. She was like, I'm a man now.
No, see, that's the thing, though. This was just like, oh, okay, she's got a kid. I need to impress the kid if I'm going to get in with the mother.
I feel like that's what you do though.
Sure.
I mean, actually, if you're out like walking your dog, the way you get in with the person is you befriend their dog.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's how I got to talk to Zachary Quinto for a minute, was by loving on his dogs.
Aw,
But mostly I was just like, your
doggies.
dogs are great. You were good too, but your dogs are great. Will your dogs give me an autograph?
Aw, puppies.
He declined.
Damn it.
But I will say this is one thing that, I mean, I loved this episode, but you do have to kind of, again, ignore the fact that they've done a couple of jumps since Season 1. Because
Yeah,
it seems
like,
like
how
these
far-
Talaxians left Talax around the same time as him?
Yeah, did they like go
Yeah.
through a wormhole?
They probably have their own stories.
Maybe they did
Yeah.
a time warp.
Yeah.
Because like not only did they've also like settled on another planet first, so
They did, yeah, and
it
that's
wasn't
where
like they
Dexa lost
were
her husband.
traveling
Yeah,
full
it wasn't
speed.
a straight shot.
Yeah, like, but that, I just put that, I was like, it fucking doesn't matter, this
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah, no, it was good. The one regret I have about this episode
How
is
dare
that it denies Ethan Phillips' presence in the series
Future
finale.
star. Oh,
We'll
yeah, that's
see
true.
a moment of him in the
Well,
season.
yeah, we get
series finale.
we get a bit, but like
but not like presence.
we don't get like we don't get any
We don't,
like real
Neelix doesn't
stuff.
doesn't like walk out of the Voyager into Starfleet Academy and say like,
Yeah.
"Hey y'all, do you need a sous chef?"
Yeah, it does
It's
feel like
it's too bad though, because like he's been on this voyage the
Yeah.
whole time, also looking forward to getting home.
Well, but that's
even
the
though
thing.
it's not his home.
It's like for him, that moment happened sort of earlier in the episode where he's like, he's as far as he knows, he's got nothing in the Delta Quadrant. So why not go to the Alpha Quadrant?
yeah.
But
and
now
then
it's
he
like,
finds something.
yeah, he suddenly has like a reason to stay.
Right, and he thought he had a reason to go, but then Naomi was like, I don't need you to tuck me in anymore, you freak. And he was like, oh.
I mean, I think that was just a case of like he was already clearly thinking about it, but he was like, though maybe one of his few real tethers
Maybe
was
Naomi needs me.
like, he's like, no, she is kind of
Yeah.
good. I guess, yeah.
That Katerian fast aging.
Yeah.
It's weird because like it's clearly, I mean, it's the same actor who's been playing Naomi now for years.
She'd done herself a growth spurt.
She's grown up. Like,
Mhm.
Well, is it-
I bought it. I'm like, wow, yeah, she does look too old for Neelix's babying stuff.
Well, and that's the thing too. It's just she's at that age where you don't see a kid for a few months, and then you're like, Jesus, fuck, what happened?
Yeah.
Since when you're an adult now.
It's a good thing that they cast an actor that happened to be like going through
On the
this-
verge of a growth spurt.
Yeah, like from legitimately looking like a small child to looking like a preteen
Yeah.
over the course of just a couple seasons.
Yeah, like it worked out.
Explain TikTok to me, Naomi.
Yes.
I don't get it.
Oh, and the, like, head guy we have actually seen before.
Oxalon? Have we? I missed this.
He was a Talaxian
Of course.
in Faces.
Oh, he was the rat guy?
Yep.
Oh, man.
That's the thing.
He looks better in this.
Still a little ratty though. So I'm thinking, like, God, why is it every time there's a guy that isn't Ethan Phillips, he looks like a rat when he's a Talaxian? And it's like, oh, well, in this case, it's the same guy. Also, he was one of the people the Ferengi dickheads had taken over in
Oh, okay.
that other, I can't think of the title, but you know the one with the
False
wormhole.
Prophets.
Yeah. He was. I don't know if he was their like little sycophant or the sycophant's brother or whatever. He was one of them.
I wanted to bring up, jumping quickly back to Natural Law for a hot second.
Yeah.
L.B. Selznick was the one who choreographed the Ventu movements.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice job. He had previously played that juggler in Cost of Living.
No shit.
One of the Tac in Macrocosm, and was Tosh, that guy with the space catapult in the Voyager conspiracy.
Oh wow.
So
He just keeps showing up.
I like him. He did a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think almost all of this episode is just gushing about Neelix being the sweetest thing.
And I loved how, like, everybody was like, he's the most versatile person on the ship. Tuvok is like, you're the most, like, resourceful person I've ever known. And Tuvok even gave him his, like, it's not even a B plot, but his, do Vulcan's dance quest. He got that, too. He got a little two-step out of the Tuvok.
Although it was funny, was like, yeah, I get it. They're actually friends, and that's wonderful. But there was a part of me that was just like, he's just doing this, because a part of him is like, oh my god, Neelix is annoying enough. What if there's 100 of them?
500.
500 of them. Though you look like you're about to say something.
I was thinking about it, but I don't think I have a thing to say. I just really liked this episode.
Yeah, I thought it was solid. I thought it was, like the other one was kind of a, the mining rights in this case. We need the asteroid for mining rights. And the other people were like, we need this area for exploiting everything.
These guys are literally like, we will fucking murder 500 people.
Yeah, I love when they're in
the minerals.
They're in negotiations and they're like, okay, we're gonna mine your asteroid. That will kill us. Yeah, I guess it will, but we're not.
Well, I guess you gotta find.
We're not technically killing you. We're just mining, right?
If you don't leave after we've told you that we're gonna mine your asteroid, really, it's like you're killing yourself.
Okay, Lisa, I'm gonna swing my arms, and if you happen to be in my way,
all right, Sandwich. Well, I'm just gonna bite air until I reach you, and if you get eaten, it's your own fault.
Yeah, these
is that Futurama?
That's
Simpsons.
Oh, I knew that you were quoting Simpsons. But
both of us.
It's the same thing. It's later the same thing.
Okay, all right, gotcha. Sorry.
Yeah, and in a way, I mean, it's very classic Star Trek. How many TOS episodes
mineral
involve
rights,
fucking mining?
Yep.
Yes.
All of them.
Pretty much.
A surprising amount.
Yes.
Like more than you'd think.
Yeah, I think it also starts off in a way when they're telling this mining charge story. You're like, okay, which ones of you people are the ones we don't trust?
Yeah.
Because, all right, I don't know if I believe this. Oh, you're only blown up by mining charges. Mm-hmm. Oh, you were. Okay. But you're still dicks. Great.
Yeah. One thing, though. Like, I get it. Music rights are expensive. But during that opening, when it's like, and now more of Zephram Cochrane's favorite copyright-free music!
Yeah. Yeah, I was wondering if B'Elanna built that jukebox, like she built Tom's TV.
I like the TV. Yeah.
I like that Neelix handmade pierogies.
Those are not easy.
No.
I extra loved the note that cheese pierogies have no nutritional value. And I said, welcome to Poland.
But also, there's dairy.
It's going to come right out again, Chris.
Cheese does the opposite of coming right out. Well, unless you're lactose intolerant. They look fucking good, though.
Yeah. I do miss me a good pierogi. Boston does not have a good pierogi selection.
I feel like there was a place I used to get them either in Connecticut or in Worcester.
Connecticut's got some good ones.
But I think there might have been a place in Worcester. I'll look into it for you. I mean, Worcester's a long way to go for pierogies, but if that's where we got them, they were very good.
Yeah, that was the funny part, though, when they first opened on, like, the jukebox and everything. Before I realized it was First Contact Day. I was like, oh man, they finally took Jake's advice from a couple weeks ago and turned it into a 50s diner.
Yeah.
I was actually almost kind of bummed it was actually First Contact Day and not that. Would have been great if you'd called it. Like Darth Maul.
Yes.
God damn it.
That was amazing.
It was amazing.
So is that interesting? Does that mean that Tom is going to have to become the ship's cook?
Yes, 'cause he gets every job.
7 of 9, as we've established.
Yeah, but she makes all the gourmet shit that you feel like takes a lot of time.
But she's all about efficiency, and when she has to make meals for larger groups of people...
She'll get the crock pot out.
Yeah.
She'll get the replicator
I think
out.
Naomi's going to end up in the kitchens.
Yeah, we're probably not going to see her again either, huh? I feel like without Neelix, what's the point?
There's also so few episodes left now. I mean,
That's true.
there's the one we're about to talk about, doesn't have Naomi in it. And then next week, spoilers, doesn't have Naomi in it.
At least it's not. I mean, at least not as bad as poor Samantha Wildman,
Yeah.
who's
just gone.
hasn't appeared in years.
Yeah, she wasn't even in the farewell scene. You'd think she'd be in the farewell hallway
She was
scene.
too fucking busy.
7 wasn't either, which was weird.
Yeah, I thought that was.
Was
weird.
she not? I
Yeah,
missed
no,
that.
I was
shit.
waiting for her to pop up. I was like, oh, yep. Where the fuck?
Yeah, they did do a nice touch because I guess they also, they dressed up a lot of the crew to like fill up the space and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But it means also that meant that those crew people got to also say goodbye to Neelix, and I'm like,
Oh, you meant they were literally crew.
Yeah,
Okay.
crew of the show.
That's
love
cool.
that.
Yeah, it was.
That's
And then
so
I'm
sweet.
crying at my eyes.
It was an interesting callback to Redemption. Was it Redemption?
The one where Worf
one
goes
where,
off?
The one
Oh,
where Worf
yeah.
resigns
briefly
and-
until he comes back next time.
Yeah, well, he wins the war and then he can come back.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's a good point.
Yeah, we're like, because they have that thing where he steps off the turbolift and the halls are lined with all the crew, which I thought was a nice callback to that.
Oh, I should also mention this was directed by LeVar Burton.
Oh,
It's one of his.
good
I think it's
work,
one of his best. So.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
This is a
good
great episode. I really liked how at the end, like, Neelix and Janeway wind up in the mess together having coffee, and Neelix was like, trying to make a decision, Captain. And she's like, I've been trying to make a decision too, Neelix. It's a terrible Janeway impression. But I loved how she was like, because we're going to need an ambassador now that we have, da-da-da. And I just like, I don't know. I loved how she was like gently being like,
I'm giving
go,
you the out.
you should
yeah.
go.
Yeah,
like,
she
go
knew-
be with
she
your
knew this
people.
was
Like,
coming.
I know you're waiting for someone to tell you it's okay. So I'm going to tell you it's okay in like the sneaky way. That means I'm not necessarily saying those words because I'm going to cry too.
Oh yeah, she's got to be bummed.
No one else can make her coffee.
Yeah.
But how much less diarrhea must there now be on board Voyager? I feel like no one has ever said a good word about his cooking. Like, I love Neelix, except the pierogies.
I mean, the thing is, though, like, that is going to be a real problem.
Yeah.
Like, now, we know that they're not going to have to travel
Much longer.
for another 30 years. But they don't know that they're not going to have to travel another 30 years. So, they're going to have to, and, like, I'm pretty sure, even though it hasn't come up in a long time, I'm pretty sure there's still issues with using the replicators all the
I feel
time.
like they still talk about replicator
It comes
rations
up
from
every
time to
now and
time
again.
when
So,
it's necessary for the
So
Well-
they are going to need a mess and like and a cook.
Do remember, though, back in, was it The Void?
Finish your thought.
One of the alien groups they partnered with
Yes,
taught
it was
them how
in
to
The
make
Void.
their
Oh,
replicators
twice
Yeah.
as
more efficient. So it's not as much of an issue as
That's
it once
true.
was.
Good point. That's how they were able to replicate a jukebox.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, real bummed,
It was
real
also-
sad.
It was also kind of nice that the very, very last shot didn't have dialogue. Like, he just
Yeah.
showed up and they saw him and they had a group hug.
Big hug. Oh, I love their little family. Oh God.
Did you think you would never come this far?
No,
Caitlin?
my God, no. But he's just, you know what it is? Like, he's a little bit okay, here's the thing. I hate Neelix because he's me, And I love Neelix because he's me, or the me I want to be, because he's just like, he's legitimately good people.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to help everybody.
Yeah, he's earnest.
He's diplomatic. He's honest. I don't know. He's just great. I love him. So the things I don't like about him are the things I don't like about me, which is that I'm, like, annoying. But aside from that, like, he's just great.
Those beard hairs, though.
Oh, yeah.
And once
Tug
they,
on his whiskers. He doesn't have to tell this Talaxian lady to tug them whiskers. She knows.
and once the writers dropped the whole, like, jealousy
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah, and they
is,
knew.
That
They-
is
they
unquestionably
understood.
terrible. That's on the writers.
Well, not even just that, too. Like, honestly, I think once he, like, was disconnected from Kess, I think he started to get better, too.
We even said at the time, like, they worked better as friends.
Mm-hmm.
Once they were just writing them as friends.
Mostly because she was a child, and he was a 40-year-old.
I think it also didn't help that her actress was very, very young.
Yeah.
And kind of inexperienced, and I don't think they ever had that kind of chemistry.
No, that's right, yeah. And
Well,
when they
that's like
stopped...
trying to have chemistry with your dad. Like, I
Oh.
don't mean the characters, I mean the actors.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
with the-
she's like 19 and he's like, however the fuck old Ethan Phillips
I just
is.
think it also just doesn't work from a credulity standpoint, I guess, that like you can't look like Neelix is a ridiculous alien clown monster,
And she's never seen one of them before.
Yeah, but like I just don't buy it. I don't buy.
Yeah, 'cause she's kind of like a hot, cool
She's
young
like a
chick.
hottie, and then it's like it'd be like if you told me that hot woman from TV was going out with Randy Quaid.
Who's Randy Quaid?
Cousin Eddie.
I mean, keep in mind, though, in the real world...
Oh, the one with the shitter?
Yeah.
Yeah, but so the fucking thing is, though, is like the Kevin James of the world always wind up with supermodels.
Well, that's because they're rich.
Well, the guy that played Cousin Eddie's probably rich.
He's lost his fucking mind. Like, legit.
He's
the
a
man,
nut. He's a nut.
like, he genuinely needs help, and it's kind of sad he's not getting it.
But,
wow. Well, thanks for that.
You're welcome. But a pretty good real-world example, though, is, like, many men were desperate for Anne Bancroft, but Mel Brooks made her laugh. And they were married till the day she died.
Bro, Jessica Rabbit, Roger Rabbit.
Yeah?
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
He makes me laugh. That's what she says.
But actually, that actually is a very good analogy, though, that Roger Rabbit. But the thing is, Neelix isn't funny, so...
No, he's...
No, but he's
funny
looking.
looking.
and he has stories.
Yeah. And he probably cared about her hopes and dreams and her feelings
That's
and
true.
shit. Like,
That's
all that
true.
stuff. Like, you feel like he was probably
He
really
listens.
supportive and sweet.
Fair.
Fuck yeah. He's like, Balana, your favorite thing is pancakes. Yeah, I remember, bitch. What of it? Because I listen.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll miss Neelix. I know we don't have long to go, but...
Yeah, thank goodness we don't have long.
I already missed him. The next episode, I was like... Meh.
Neelix would have made this better.
Well, something had to. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think it was that bad.
Wow.
No, I don't even know how I felt about that episode. It's mostly because I was so perplexed by the end.
Are we talking Renaissance Man?
Yeah.
Let's talk Renaissance Man, because I've run out of things, and otherwise...
Renaissance.
And speaking of Neelix being a fucking Renaissance man, how about the episode Renaissance Man? Am I right?
You're right.
Thank you.
How do you even sum up Renaissance Man?
This shit. Doctor is taking on all kinds of new roles as he creeps around Voyager doing the bidding of the hierarchy, who have Janeway captive and will only release her if Voyager turns over their warp core. After successfully beaming the warp core out of Voyager, there's an inevitable double cross as the hierarchy realize the EMH is the most valuable piece of equipment on Voyager. But there's another inevitable double cross, La Gasp, and they are helped to escape by Nar, who had a change of heart after overloading the Doctor's holomatrix and finding out that they were gonna kill everybody. He then awkwardly, what does it say? Oh, the Doctor then awkwardly spews a whole bunch of inside thoughts. It looks like a dink. The end.
Fuck you, EMH.
Yeah, fuck you, EMH.
Renaissance Man, a Danny DeVito movie from the 90s.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I hope so.
I've kind of wondered, like, there have been several times this season where they've just made the EMH, like, super uncomfortable and weird. And it's like, is this the writers taking revenge on...
Like Picardo
for always
like,
having
badgering
ideas?
them? Yeah.
Was this them being like, fine, fuck you? It's like, well, I'm sorry he has better ideas than you guys, but he does.
I don't know. I feel like this was an interesting idea because...
Oh, yeah, it's just the end bit is like, it's like, did we need to do that?
Oh,
but yeah,
yeah.
everything else is...
Yeah. And even,
Seven, I've lusted after you for
well,
years.
that's the thing. Everything about that end bit was fine until the, Seven. Like,
that's true.
And honestly, he could have even still said, oh, I'm in love with you, if he didn't bring up the averting my eyes while doing your exam thing. Like, that just made it disgusting.
Yeah.
It made
I
it
didn't even think
disgusting.
of that.
Like, it was like...
Seven will never talk to him again.
Yeah,
and
having
I
a crush on
understand.
Seven is awkward and potentially funny in
It's
the context
humanizing a
of
little.
that joke.
Well, and who hasn't had a crush on Seven? Everybody
Yeah.
crushes on Seven. Harry Kim was carrying a big old torch for Seven for a while.
Yeah, so like having a crush and like, the revealing to your crush that you have the crush in a moment of, I think I'm about to die, deathbed confession. That's a funny joke. That's a tropey, funny joke.
Especially when you don't die.
Yeah, like there's a great scene in the film Almost Famous where it's a movie about a band.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the one with Brendan Fraser and fucking...
No, that's
Airheads?
That's
Oh,
Airheads.
that's Airheads. I like
Almost
Airheads.
Famous is a series. That's a comedy. This is a serious film.
Let's watch Airheads.
Yes,
I've never seen it. I'd watch it.
Anyway, Almost Famous is very good, but there's a great scene where this band, they're on a private jet.
Oh, I know the movie.
And it starts going down, like it starts hitting turbulence, and like everyone's freaking out. They think they're going to crash, so they all start like airing their laundry out.
Oh no.
Ooh, no.
And then of course the jet turns out to be fine.
And the band breaks up.
And like
oh, does it? Oh no!
Spoiler alert!
I was guessing. I haven't
that's
seen
the
it.
end of that's the end of the band.
Oops.
Actually, most of it. The best part though is definitely
Talking about Tuvok's ass eruption.
no.
Oh.
Going to Harry, being like, "I said your playing was like a dying targ.
Yeah.
I should have put it more delicately." Not saying that I was wrong in my assessment.
Yeah, no, your playing
just that I was
was
too
bad.
mean.
Yeah.
Here's the weird thing about EMH is that his character arc over the course of the show has been something to the effect of he starts off, wishing people would pay attention to him and, grant him more agency and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he just grows to feel like he's superior to everyone and voices it all the time.
Well, he says that to Janeway at the start of this episode, doesn't he?
He does.
He's like, I am superior to humans. I mean, I'll still be friends with you losers.
I mean, he is though. He's a computer.
Yeah, I think that's
That isn't...
You don't say it, though.
But
Oh
does
yeah,
that-
don't say it. No,
But,
Christ.
but there are limitations. Like, he... I don't like the term superior.
Well,
here's the problem. Here's the problem.
All right, tell me, Jake.
Here's
Do
the
it.
problem.
Lay it
with
on me,
the
Daddy-O.
EMH. I'm going to psychoanalyze it for a minute. The EMH was created by and in the image of
True.
Dr. Zimmerman.
A big fucking creepazoid.
Who's a big fucking creepazoid narcissist bastard.
Yeah.
But he was designed with very, limited social capabilities because he was only ever supposed to be on for a few minutes at a time to treat a patient, then get turned off. So he's expanded the program. So he's basically had to learn how to be social, which is why it's always kind of ironic that he was on teaching Seven how to be social, because he himself...
That's a good point. Go to Chakotay.
He himself had to, learn social graces. But
failed.
in a very limited way, and he not like a child would learn, but basically
Seven,
starting from the same place.
I'm going to teach you how to feel superior to everyone too.
Well, when you think about especially before he had the mobile emitter, who was he spending most of his time with?
Tom Paris.
Yes.
Oh, and Kess.
Kess. That's true.
Mostly Kess.
But he spent most of his time with Kess and Tom, who was a condescending dick to him.
Well, and also most of the time he spent alone.
Yeah.
And he was a condescending dick to Tom back.
Yeah, because
I don't blame the EMH so much for being kind of a social
weirdo.
Just because, it kind of makes sense in the context of how he developed his social skills.
Yeah. Well, and actually, now that you think about it,
Doesn't mean I have to like it.
No, yeah.
Which is a shame, because I remember my first watch through a Voyager, I really liked EMH, and now going through and picking apart all the goddamn fucked up shit he does, I'm like, oh god. EMH is kind of gross sometimes.
Yeah, he is.
Well, and a lot of that is just because stuff that 90s TV thought was funny is not, actually.
It's kind of... Yeah, exactly. It's the Quark problem.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's as much as you can like Quark as a character in, most of the things that he does, and he's both funny and entertaining, poignant sometimes, there's still that undercurrent of, oh yeah, no, he rapes people.
That's the thing, though. With Quark, I know we said a similar thing, is that we started noticing towards season 7 or so that it felt like he was reverting.
Yeah.
His character had been growing a lot in terms of, treating his Davo girls better and treating everybody better, and maybe Rom, he doesn't beat so often. And then we noticed there was a weird shift.
Yeah.
Probably because, the writers were busy doing something else and they had to pay attention to Ezri and all this nonsense, that it felt like Quark became a scumbag again, and we noticed it. Yeah. And I'm noticing it with EMH.
Yeah, well, no, the thing about EMH is I think this aspect of him hasn't really changed. It's always kind of been this way.
Yeah. Again, I do kind of wonder if they bring it out more just because the writers were mad.
Yeah.
I genuinely wonder that sometimes.
Okay, that would be fun.
Having said that, though, aside from that scene and really that one line in that scene, I thought this was a very good episode. I really enjoyed. I think it was a new take on the EMH and oh yeah, he can just impersonate whoever he wants, which surprises me that he of all the things that they gave him access to in his program, changing his physical parameters probably should have been not one of them.
Well, at one point it was explicit that he didn't have that ability because B'Elanna had to reprogram his looks for a mission at one point. Clearly they never turned it back off.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because when he went down to it was
and
blink
was
of an
being
eye.
Dala. Oh, blink of an eye. I know in Live Fast and Prosper he impersonated Dala.
Yes.
I thought it maybe.
But yeah, I think he came in winking an eye so they could change his clothes.
Because she gave him the ability to change his appearance on his own, which he didn't have before.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know what they looked like.
No, the real idiot is Janeway. He shouldn't be able to self-activate ECH mode.
I thought that was wrong.
But he did. But the thing is, he did it with Chakotay's voice print.
That was Beltran speaking?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
Okay.
It should have been Janeway, though.
He was in Chakotay suit when he gave the ECH, when he activated the ECH, and then he changed into Picardo in the red uniform from Chakotay.
Oh, did he? I could have sworn he went from just blue to red. But...
No, he went from red Chakotay to red. Yeah.
That makes a little more sense. Still doesn't...
Because, it was the scene where Chakotay told B'Elanna to evacuate
engineering. Right.
So he was in Chakotay form.
Right.
And he only activated ECH when Tom called up and said, hey, this
there.
doctor's in engineering right now. And he's like, shit.
If you see somebody there in engineering with you, it's the doctor and not Chakotay.
Yeah.
I also like that he was kind of a one-man pod people.
Yes.
Like, slowly just he's like, oh god, I stick him in the morgue. You built a morgue set for one episode?
Yeah.
It was pretty cool, too.
Yeah.
It was. And then, like, just sadly collecting the badges. Like, oh god.
The thing... Okay. I feel like this is a plot hole in this episode.
Oh, there's so many. Wait for my list.
Well, my big one is... So, the Turpotatoes have been planning this heist.
Yeah.
The Doctor... Like, their whole plan... 100,000% hinges on Janeway and the Doctor, and only Janeway and the Doctor going on a shuttle trip together, which has never, ever happened before.
That's a good-ass point.
That would make no sense. Because it was a medical conference or something they went to, right? Why would Janeway go to that? To chaperone the Doctor so he wouldn't flee again?
Okay, I got it. They know they can't send him alone, but no one wanted to go with him, and they drew straws. And she forgot to cheat.
I do buy that.
Oh, I thought you meant that you had a cure for the plot hole.
No, God, no.
Yeah, because if it's the Doctor and anybody else, it doesn't work because he needs to be the captain.
Yeah.
Maybe it would work with Chakotay, but I don't know. Or maybe he could make it work until he could incapacitate the captain. But then he doesn't. But then you also need the leverage of holding the captain prisoner.
Yeah, and then also if we do it that way, then it's just that terrible episode with the shapeshifter that took over Tom's body for a little bit.
Oh, vis-a-vis.
Who worked his way up to being Janeway, but was found out
failed
immediately
utterly.
because he was bad at it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, though, is like the Doctor, like aside from that major plot hole there, the Doctor is good at impersonating
everyone.
Yeah,
everyone.
Like I love how Chakotay. I actually do like how Chakotay figured it out with a little like, oh yeah, this reminds me of that mission you went on once with the such and such system, and Dr. Janeway is like, yes, that's right, Chakotay. Clearly, indeed.
Yeah. Also,
and Chakotay says that was not a thing. You were not Janeway.
Credit to Mulgrew. There was a point where she was in her chair as Dr. Janeway, and she was holding herself completely wrong.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's another thing. Like Mulgrew did a fantastic job. Just even like in her little interactions, like when she like leaves the bridge and she says like something to Tuvok.
Yeah.
And it's like Uncanny Valley. And if you hadn't they kind of telegraphed the twist.
Oh yeah.
Pretty early. So if you hadn't already figured out that it's the Doctor, at that point you're like, oh, there's that's like an alien.
It's either not Janeway or something's very wrong with her.
Yeah, something bad happened to Janeway.
Okay, here's a question. Here's my first question of many, right? Of at least two.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the first.
Is it multiple choice?
Yes.
Will there be a grade?
No.
Okay.
Pass fail. Dr. Janeway is in Delta Flyer, returning from wherever they had been. We don't know yet that there's a thing. And the transmission's all garbled, and he comes with an excuse for why the transmission's all garbled, as part of the ploy. We get it. And he says, okay, as soon as I'm back docked on Voyager, I want to talk to Chakotay. And, they're like, okay, that makes sense. So Delta Flyer gets back, and no one checks No one was there when it came back to see only one person was in Delta Flyer. That should have been obvious. They could have scanned it and said, we're not reading any human life signs. I don't know, maybe the hierarchy could fake that with the
is
thing.
It standard procedure to scan your own shuttle for life signs?
Well, maybe, but even if you don't scan it, but just like, there was no one there to meet them and see Janeway get off alone and be like, where the fuck is the doctor?
Yeah, but again, I don't know. I mean, people...
When she comes back and says specifically, like, everything's been, this thing is going weird and I need to talk with someone when I get back.
Yeah.
I think you'd meet them when they get back.
She specifically said, have Chakotay meet me in my ready room.
Well, who is in charge of Shuttle Bay?
Well, that's the thing. Nobody is.
Dang it.
Even though there should be.
Because Starfleet ships, you can always steal a shuttle. If there were a person manning the shuttle bay, that wouldn't happen. So yeah, I totally buy that there's nobody there.
In a sensible world, there should always be people posted there, and it should be standard operating procedure that whenever anyone comes back with a shuttle, everyone who left with it needs to be accounted for getting off of it.
Deconned immediately.
Well, that's the thing. No, that's another thing, too, is like, so the transporters have biofilters to prevent you from bringing diseases or anything. There's no system that, people just get off the shuttle and walk about the ship.
Okay, this I will give you a technobabble excuse for.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the fuck it is that acts as the air shield is also kind of like
a
non-fatal version of the baryon sweep. Like, it's just the right level to not kill you, but to, like, decon you. Kind of like the chemicals you gotta use when you wipe down a countertop in a restaurant. It's like, alright, so if you don't use enough of it, it's actually pointless. If you use too much of it, it will murder people. But this spot right here...
That's the good spot.
That's the delicious one.
That'll kill bacteria, but not customers.
Yeah, I do agree that there should have been somebody in the shuttle bay to notice only one person getting off.
Especially when she had radioed earlier and said, I'm having this problem and that's why it's weird, my transmission's so strange.
Well,
wink.
Here's the thing, even if it wasn't standard procedure for any of this, let's be real. Tom would have been in there in a second screaming, "What is wrong with my baby?"
True. Did you screw up my joystick?
Only B'Elanna gets to do that.
Oh, nice.
Shimpeggin.
All right, I'm going to jump into the biggest problem I have with this episode.
The potato people.
I mean, I do hate them, and they're a very large part of it, so here we go. What the fuck is the Doctor's plan? So the Doctor is carrying out their wishes this whole time. And granted, you can tell he feels really guilty about it. And Janeway has told him up and down, don't do it. Doc, don't. You're acting against my orders and I will turn you off. God damn it, Doc.
Hippocratic oath, though.
If only somebody would fucking turn him off. Jeez.
So he just does everything the Paternos want. And the whole episode long, at least I was rooting against the Doctor. Because
you're supposed to be.
Because it's almost like that, I think it's in Brothers, when Data just suddenly decides to commandeer the ship. And you're like, Data, no, don't do it. Someone catch him quickly. Oh no, a thing has happened. And then, whatever the fuck he did to, play his music and people figure out the music, I don't know who that was for, because whose warp signature was that?
The Paternos.
The turd potato.
Was it? How did he have their warp signature?
Should have been on their ship.
Cough, cough, cough.
Okay. Because I think...
Oh my god, another plot hole.
Or, it was in the Delta Flyers memory core from when they scanned it.
See, I think he was doing it for himself. Because he thought the Paternos would give them back the Delta Flyer, would put him and Janeway back on the Delta Flyer, and then he'd go, save it himself? Like, he didn't think he and Janeway were going to be still imprisoned at the end of this.
No, they double-crossed him. They told him that they were going to release Janeway, but they didn't.
Which means the end, the whole plot that the Doctor has unwound for everyone is, hey guys, I left you a breadcrumb trail.
Yeah.
Oh, but I took your engine.
Well, he knows they've got shuttles.
Yeah.
Oh, a shuttle can take down this ship?
It did.
It didn't. It only did because fucking...
They had help on the inside.
Nar.
Nar.
Fucked it up for them.
I mean, I think that he was he was trying to do the best he could without tipping them off.
I think he could have done way better, and it would have been a much more interesting episode. Though.
Well, but he's not programmed for that.
He is. He has all these command protocols in his system.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's got lots of shit in his brain
A
now.
lot of them got deleted for porn music.
I look at something like Think Tank, because I was thinking about this earlier. Think Tank was a great double cross thing, where ostensibly to the Think Tank people, Voyager has caved to our wishes and given us what we want. This beautiful 7 of 9 that everyone's in love with, especially the Doctor. But they didn't realize, 7 of 9 is actually, she has a certain thing that will fuck you up.
Yeah, well, she interfaced with things and broke their hoodlies.
Yeah, she broke their ship.
Yeah.
Or like in Counterpoint, one where we turn the tables on our captives who think we're doing what they want, and we're actually not. We have an actual plan underneath all of this.
Yeah, I think that was a triple by the end.
Yeah, that had so many double crosses that you had to keep track with a notepad and paper.
That's why
Charlie with the red strings.
That's why Janeway's the captain and the Doctor is the Doctor.
But the Doctor's supposed to be so fucking clever.
But he's not. He's only as clever as his programming permits. And
so his solution is boring.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think I love the moment in this episode where Janeway is telling the turd potatoes that he's programmed with.
Yeah.
He's 10 steps ahead of you. He's, there's a great scene in The Last Crusade where Indiana Jones had given the Holy Grail book to Marcus, who's a bumbling fool.
No, not Marcus, to Marcus.
To Marcus.
You said Marcus, but I thought
Solo.
of John Rhys Davies' character. Yeah, no, Marcus is an idiot.
He says that he gave and he tells the Nazis, he's like, he's a fucking expert. He can blend in.
Speaks 10 languages.
Then he's got the Grail already. And then cut to him, wandering around in some, bazaar and,
in a white suit.
Yeah, completely confused. Trying to speak English to people, and it's just not working.
And here's the thing, Marcus maybe does speak 10 languages. But the problem is he says something like, does anyone here speak ancient Greek? Aramaic?
Right.
It's damn it.
So it's and that's a great joke.
Yeah.
And I think they were trying to do the same joke here, where it's Janeway's pumping him up as this expert tactician, when in reality, he just, he has the ECH protocols are just the bare minimum to run the ship. He's not trained to, even Harry Kim had more tricks up his sleeve.
In Workforce?
Yeah.
No.
Wasn't it?
The two of them were going back and forth and doing one-upping things.
The problem is what the Doctor is, he's got sort of this whole, list of stuff, but I don't know that this program can necessarily handle the level of improvisation. Thank you. Improvisation he can't turn the practical knowledge into action as well as he should be able to.
Why?
Because
he's not
that's really hard to program.
He's a very creative person.
Well, he's medically creative.
But wait, is he creative? Or does he just have a big repertoire of downloaded music in his brain?
Well,
what's the difference? I mean, I can sing along to songs on the radio, but I'm not Mozart.
See, here's the thing. The Doctor's like ChatGPT. It can come up with novel things, but they're all just remixes of the things he already knows.
He's not that much like ChatGPT. I tried to ask ChatGPT to say dirty things, and it won't. The Doctor's like, I breathed heavily while I was giving you your exam.
Wish they gave him that filter. But yeah, I don't know, I personally thought, it made sense that he couldn't really do anything better than he did.
But then they only got out of the situation through chance.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's an interesting episode. I was hoping that there would be some interesting double cross. Or maybe it wasn't really the warp core. It was a hologram warp core.
I was hoping that he would have found a better way.
Because it would be a better episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not a great episode. I didn't hate it. It was entertaining enough. The CG. When it turns out the Doctor can do combat parkour.
Oh, yeah.
As a pregnant Milana.
Yeah. Janeway there, He could have done that the whole time. I've been bringing him on away missions for years. Fuck.
I also like the moment where it's like, make me B'Elanna. Update B'Elanna.
Yeah.
She's a little bigger than this, I remember. I don't know. I kind of wish, that's the thing, like, when I spend most of the episode rooting against the Doctor and sure, he has a lot of clever ways, because he's clever, of getting out of stuff from his crew, but doesn't have a clever way to get around these moron turds? Who are morons?
They are very dumb.
Yeah.
And turds.
And turds, like, there could have been some way that at the very, very least, the people on Voyager, when they arrived, were able to get the thing back themselves through whatever breadcrumbs they left him, tech-wise, instead of just location-wise. Like,
Okay.
it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Who's worse for you? The Paternos or Season 1 TNG Ferengi? Because I feel like there's a lot of similar vibe there.
There's a lot. I was noticing specifically in the repertoire between Zet and Nar, in that they were basically Zek and Rom.
And yet, no hissing and no whips.
True.
That's true. That they do have that up on the Ferengi, but I don't know. I might give it to these guys because Season 1 Ferengi were meant to just be villains, whilst these guys, I think, are meant to be redeemable. Like, you see it in Nar. You're like, oh, we're supposed to like Nar because he's the nice one. He says at one point, oh, but Zed, that might kill them. You've been threatening Janeway this whole fucking episode, guy. Why are you with this man?
Yeah.
What is your
It's
relationship?
the same thing with the last time we saw these guys with
But they weren't defected. These two are defected.
yeah. Well, I mean, it just seems like their culture
It is garbage.
is garbage, but like it's very hierarchical, right? You know, like
Well-
you just do what you're told.
He makes I can see how some clearly spineless guy got bullied by his superior to be like, don't you want to not live under these shitheads? And he goes like, I guess not. I guess I'll live under you. Thinking he could...
I'll always live under somebody, though.
Yeah. I don't know. That's the thing. Their second appearance, we only saw those two scientists. We don't know a load about, like, what they were like outside
We know
of the void.
we know they really fucking love spying on people.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true. They are very good at that.
Yeah. I wonder if these guys they must have already, when they were planning this thing, they must have known all about the Doctor from
That other...
the other guy.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Because they're not smart enough to have figured it out on their own. 'Cause
No.
they're idiots. Like, Janeway schools Nar on how to put together a piece of equipment she's never seen in her life.
So here's the other thing I was thinking that the Doctor could do is, so they can see and hear everything that he sees and hears.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Could he have turned his shirt into a message?
Yeah. Well, I thought he should be speaking sign language somewhere where the hierarchy people can't see through his eyes.
Because I don't think they obviously can't read his thoughts.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they would have known about the music subterfuge.
Yeah.
So it's really that they're just seeing and hearing what he sees and hears.
I thought what the Doctor should have done, which would have been clever, because, you know, he's so clever, is find a quick and easy way to, because he would, to turn on the voice that they're pairing into him, so that it just broadcasts wherever he goes, so that everyone around him can hear the hierarchy people and know what's going on.
But then they'd be able to hear him hearing that, wouldn't they?
No, because they're speaking it at the same time. Can you hear yourself on a Zoom call?
But they would have seen people reacting to it.
Not if they're coy.
But they wouldn't know to be told.
Yeah, no,
They would
they'd
be like,
just-
what the fuck was that?
Yeah. Especially Harry.
Did anybody else hear that? Is somebody talking?
And then EMH's shirt says, Harry, be cool.
Yeah.
Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah.
Greatest shirt message ever.
Or like everybody in Starfleet knows Morse code. I'm sure
True.
the potato heads don't.
No,
So-
they don't.
So if he was just tapping out
Yeah.
some Morse code,
Yep.
somebody would have picked it up.
That comes up
Although,
all the time.
again, that leads to the other problem where it is apparently Federation law that whenever someone starts using Morse code, somebody out loud goes, "That's Morse code!"
Oh, I wish that the listeners could see this face.
I was led to believe I'd be using a lot more Morse code in life.
that honestly
and engaging in quicksand.
That's a joke that I feel like would be good on
Lower Decks.
yeah, like just at one point I really thought I'd be using a lot more Morse code in space than I have been.
Too subtle.
Trying to remember if it's come up already. It's possible.
Mm.
Oh, Ayala got a line.
Yeah, I saw
It
that.
was so good to see him.
I was wondering if that was him.
Yeah, I was very happy. But I'm sure it's because it's like, oh, we got only a couple episodes left. Let's throw this guy a bone. He's been here all fucking so long.
Yeah, no, that's the thing in this whole season. It's like, memory lane. They brought back Seska. They brought back Naomi. They brought back Vorik for 2 minutes. They brought back Kelly
Vorik have
just
lines?
to kill him. A couple.
Okay.
Like 1 or 2.
Yeah, he
They
did.
brought back
he
Cass
he
just to
told
make
the
worst
doctor.
episode ever.
Was that last season? Or
I
this
don't know.
It
season?
was last season.
Either
Yeah.
way, they did it. It was
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, so bad.
He told Dr. Lano where to stick it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Sector BG or whatever.
Yeah.
He should have picked up faster. That something was up.
I missed who we're talking about.
Vorik.
Oh, Vorik.
His
I was going to say
Vulcans
Ayala.
No, he
Chakotay.
probably just thought it was the pregnancy.
Ayala's actually a Q and is just observing them the whole time. He knew full well what was going on.
I'm into that. Yeah, Chakotay was ready to mutiny, like the moment Janeway said something weird. He's like,
Man loves mutiny.
Is this a way I could mutiny? She wouldn't let me be a pirate recently, so...
Arr.
Chakotay is to mutiny as Janeway is to blowing up the ship.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Like, when Dr. Janeway told Chakotay, like, oh, yes, these aliens are going to let us settle on an M-class planet, I was imagining Chakotay being like, Fine-a-fucking-ly! I've been saying this for years!
I'll go get my tub making tools.
The tub.
Yep.
That's what I really like about Chakotay.
Building
That's a man
tubs.
that could build me a tub.
Mm.
I like that. I like that in a man.
Good God, Tom brought B'Elanna so much fried chicken.
And then
looked
he's
good.
like, and she's like, oh, I can't be eating this. And he's like, oh, what's one piece? And it's like, why did you make fucking 30 pieces?
Because
So
he knows
many.
most of it's for him.
She's
Yeah.
eating for 2.
2 fried chickens, all for B'Elanna.
Made me want
2?
fried chicken, though. It looked pretty good.
2 whole fried chickens and dry white toast.
Is that from something?
Blues Brothers.
I've never seen.
Good movie.
Me either.
Blue.
Oh, it was also good. Like, Kim also had a great moment when he figures out, because remember in some episode, it's gone now, the one where like, oh, I can figure out who was here in the holodeck.
Oh, yeah.
Based on what shape was here at one point. And they're like, okay, there was
Residual
the shape.
photons or whatever.
Residual thingy. Oh, we'll figure out who was underneath this hollow form. It was the doctor! Oh, I've been neck pinched or something.
But here's the thing,
Hypo.
why would
Hypo.
the doctor have to be under another form, and he can just turn into the other form?
That's a good question. Why did no one check the shuttle when it came back?
Yeah.
This episode is
Don't think about it
does
too hard.
stretch the old suspension of disbelief a bit.
Yeah. It's like I said a few weeks ago. It's the season 7 fatigue.
It's a good thing they killed off all the Betazoids on the ship. Betazoids on the ship.
So you didn't used to make the mistake,
Well, I
Jake.
know.
Damn it! I've infected him.
Fuck you.
I think I'm the one that used to make that mistake all the time. I think I infected.
Beta Z is the
both.
planet. Betazoids are the people.
Yeah, because they're like Beta Zoidberg.
But yeah, like, it's a good thing there were no Betazoids on the ship, because they would have immediately recognized
That's true.
the Doctor not being Janeway. Who's this massive hole that's standing on the bridge?
How dare you talk about the captain like that?
No, that's Tom Paris. No, I meant the other one.
Oh.
Hey, hey, so it's really hot, but you know what's really cool? Blogtivities. We got one of those.
Yes.
Because I'm sweating my tits off, my dude.
Perfect segue.
Oh, it's been
As
the night
usual.
of great segues.
All right. Oh God, we have so little Voyager left that we have our last Voyager Blogtivity thing before the finale. You heard us in the last couple of weeks. We did all the great characters. We did all the great villains, and this week we saw some great races. Not really this week. This week we were kind of losers, but we're going to talk about who are our favorite alien races throughout all of Voyager. It may count today. We'll see. We'll see who's on the list.
Cardassians, Ferengi, and Romulans.
I made that joke already today.
What,
Damn it.
What joke? Those are the ones.
No.
Who were you gonna say? The fucking...
The hierarchy 3 times.
I was thinking of, oh, fuck me. I'm fucking up my own joke. You know, Seska's boyfriend there.
The Kazon?
Yeah, the
Oh,
Kazon.
God.
The
They
Kazon 3
suck.
times.
Nobody's
They sure
favorite
do.
anything.
God. The fucking guys that evolved from coral reefs.
What about those feather.
No, the bird heads.
The worst makeup in the history of Star Trek. It's funny, a few weeks ago, someone on shitposting posted one of them being like, what the fuck was with these aliens?
Who did this to you?
It's like, okay, it's not just us. We all agree this is fucking stupid. Yeah, that's the thing, is like, the nature of the show means there aren't a ton of recurring races, and unfortunately, most of them are bad.
Disagree.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get the party started. I'll name a good one.
Do it.
What's a good one, Jake?
The Vidians.
I'm glad you said the Vidians.
The Vidians.
They're grody.
The plague
Yeah,
people.
okay.
Love to hate those guys.
Yeah, well, because like they're interesting because they're obviously villains, but they're also like victims of their own circumstance. And when we meet some that are not explicitly trying to murder and harvest the crew, they're actually decent people that just got fucked over by this disease. Mm-hmm. So I find the Vidians to be fairly interesting.
I agree. I like them.
That's fair.
Are we picking like 3 or?
We're picking 3.
Oh, you got 2 more, Jake?
Yeah, finish it off, Jake.
Oh shit! Well, that was the only one I had.
Brat.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I've been struggling.
I'm gonna go with species 8472.
Yay!
Okay.
Because again, I'm not gonna go so far as to say they're actually good people, because I think they are still crazy, weird monsters. But I think the Boothby episode is like from their perspective, the Borgs showed up in their space trying to assimilate them.
Yeah, we all hate the Borg.
And then they finally like kind of beat back the Borg, and then these assholes show up in their goofball spaceship, and then they find a way to help the Borg kill them. Mm-hmm. So yeah, 8472 has every reason to believe that humans are a fucking hostile race.
Yeah.
So when everyone's like, oh my god, why are they impersonating, why are they planning this invasion? It's like, well, maybe because you gave them reason to think that you were going to kill them all. Because, you told the Borg how to kill them.
And that also led to the Dauntless clusterfuck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So
my man Arturus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to say, 8472 is another one. And then, I'm trying to think of my third
Talaxians.
I mean, Talaxians are cool.
That's the problem, is like, we mostly see Neelix, so it's kind of actually hard to tell what,
Listen, you don't need to say that, because you know I'm going to say the Talaxians.
Nah.
So,
that's fair.
Just shut.
Do you have a third, Dick? Do you need a minute?
I might need a minute. If we want to try somebody else, and then I'll come up with something.
Talaxians.
Yeah, Caitlin.
Ocampans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that I was going to say Ocampans, but I'm like, ugh, we've only seen one.
Herodians.
Yay! All good choices.
Yeah, that is a good choice.
I especially liked the Herodian that was in the episode with The Rock.
That's the thing, I like individual...
That was Bartok.
There's going to be some individual Herodian I like, but I think as a whole, we just didn't get enough of them for me to have a bead on them.
We got quite a bit of Herodian.
I thought we did, especially in
they
the
had like
Killing
5
Game.
or 6 episodes, didn't they?
They were
I feel like they were all
Nazis.
over the place.
Yeah, it's
Well,
also,
anyway,
they've shrunk at one point.
I thought they were interesting.
I did like them better when they were super tall, but you can't really keep that up when you keep casting normal-sized actors.
Well, I mean...
Tom Cruise looks taller than everybody, and he's like a fucking 5 foot.
That's a better example of what I was going to say. They just use some fucking Lord of the Rings camera tricks.
That's true.
That too.
They don't do that on television shows in the 90s.
What about the early 2000s? Is it the early 2000s?
It is now, but it wasn't then.
Yeah, no, it started in the mid-90s, so kind of run the gamut.
Yeah, I think those are good choices, Caitlin.
Thank you, Ames.
I'll go next then, because Jake looks like he's still thinking.
Well,
he's chewing on his thinking stick.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to start us off. I'm going to agree with Jake and say Vidians, just because, they make for such a great kind of idea for a race because you kind of see both sides of their story. Mm-hmm. And good for
they're
them.
Super tragic.
Oh, yeah, and their makeup is disgusting.
Oh, it's so
good. Very upsetting.
And some of them are monsters and some of them are not. And, it's good to have a little of each because not everybody's a monolith. Guys, great.
A very upsetting melting alien.
I also have to include the Borg, because I always include the Borg. I'm not at all surprising. I will always include Borg.
They're great. And we got to meet some young Borgs
and
a queen and all kinds of Borgs.
Everyone that said Voyager overused the Borg is a lying fuck.
Yeah, they're not in it that much.
Every time we saw the Borg and we learned, whatever the new thing was of the week, I was intrigued. I was satisfied with the new things we learned, and I didn't feel like they were being overused.
I think it's less about overusing and more about misusing.
And I don't think they were
Maybe that
misused.
Well, again, I just think that they're not the Borg in the pure form that they were in TNG, where they were just like monsters, like literal.
But this is where they
zombies.
live. We came to where they live.
Yeah, and they're a lot different now. They're hierarchical. There's.
Well, but we got that in First Contact.
Yeah, First Contact was really what started all that. So if you want to blame anyone,
I think it's because it was a woman-led show, and people don't like that. That's what I think. I think it's pure sexism.
That has very little to do with it at all.
Well, I disagree.
Oh well.
And I have a coin flip.
I'm a man, so I'm automatically right.
That's true. You raise a good point.
I got a coin flip between my last two, but I'm going to give it to the Silver Blood duplicates.
Oh, you love the Silver Bloods.
Because I just find them also very neat. Like, that's a great idea for a people. Is that they just gain sentience, and you're just like, oh, this is life now. We did this.
Fucking best, worst episode.
Yeah.
I should have put it on both lists that time.
Honorable mention to the Voth, because I do love the Voth. But I had to give it to Silver Blood duplicates because they're so cool. The Voth are the dinosaurs.
Yes, yeah. That's
I didn't know.
actually not a bad idea.
Chris, you got 3?
No.
Jake, you got 1? More?
Yeah, I was gonna say the Voth.
There we go.
Yay!
My thunder has been stolen.
Oh, shit!
Damn it.
You can't get new rule. You can't give honorable mentions until everyone else is gone.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
I do like. We really should adapt that.
Yeah, we should have come with that years ago.
We're learning. 7 years and we're learning.
See, sometimes development is a very small thing that you don't necessarily even notice.
There we go.
Bring it back. Chris, you got 3? So I'm dying. I'm going to dissolve into a puddle of Caitlin right here.
I mean, I guess, I was also going to say Borg.
Yay! We love Borg. And we meet some good Borgs this season.
We do. Like one. Well, not this season, but I thought I meant in general.
Oh, the character one, not like one character.
I thought that's what you meant.
We
too.
had
just the one.
Mazzotti, who's still the best.
I like Icheb.
Icheb's pretty
Oh,
good.
I have nothing against him, but she was so much better.
No, Mazzotti was the best.
Yeah.
But I like Icheb a lot.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to say the Ferengi, but I am going to say the people they conquered.
Oh, okay.
Because they were so ready to burn them at the stake the minute they got an opening.
I'll look up. I forget if we know what their names are.
Yeah, but then, anyone who's that willing to just murder their leaders is okay in my book. And, potato pig. No. Even I think they're too ridiculous.
Okay, good, because I doubt sometimes. I'm like,
oh yeah, no.
If Chris loves them, I will certainly hate them more.
No. We need to see more of them before I really have a beat on them. I'm just gonna steal your guys' idea and say Vidians.
Vidians are great.
Vidians are good.
They're good, and I love Denarapel. So
yeah.
All right, I got an honorable mention though. The fuckers that wouldn't let them use their fancy long distance transporter.
Oh, where the Prime Directive was on the other foot.
Where they got Prime Directive.
Oh.
Yeah.
Prime from Prime Factors, I think.
Yeah. Another one. The Random Thoughts people.
Oh, that woman that really wanted to fuck Neelix.
Yeah, until she got murdered.
Yeah, that sucked. I mean, her getting murdered. I don't remember what I thought of the episode. Their society seemed really bad.
Yeah, it was just a weird society, the literal thought police.
Yeah. I feel like... Did I like that episode?
I think it's a okay episode.
I thought it was a good episode.
Yeah, I just genuinely can't remember what I like.
It's like the scene where Tuvok is dealing black market thoughts and really fucks
and
the
it's
dude up.
Great Tim Russ
great
moment.
And there was that clip from that space movie with the horror and the Sam Neill.
Oh, Event Horizon.
Yeah. The decomposing fox.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I like that one. It's so funny how often I'll be like, I don't remember what I thought of an episode. I remember the episode, but yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, another good race I liked was the Phantom Eight people.
Yeah, they were cool.
I liked them.
Honorable mention.
Whoa.
No, I was going to say, you know what race I like is this white cat.
He's a good one.
Honorable mention to the various holograms that flipped out and killed their overseers.
I was actually just thinking that it would be cool to do hollow people. Because there's a lot of that in this.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, even just like
the doctor,
the EMH's, people.
We're poop mines.
Yeah,
the poop miners, Andy Dick, Zimmerman's
Maybe not Andy
secretary.
Leonard.
Roy.
The Fly.
Leonard, Roy.
Roy was the Fly.
Like
Yeah.
it's undoubtable that there's they are creating life forms
Every day.
and
they are
we're so
refusing to
racist
acknowledge
against
it.
them.
and they're so racist against them, and like we're mistreating them so horribly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the exact speech, like when Picard went off in Measure of the Man about like what we decide here today will dictate, whether these people become, free people or slaves, or I'm paraphrasing, but like no one's asked that question about the holograms yet.
Nope.
Nope.
That's because we do not think of them as people at all.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm sure after those couple of exocomps, that doctor or that scientist decided, okay, we're gonna just remove a couple of these functions from exocomps so that we don't think of them as sentient, and we're gonna keep chugging them out.
Yeah. Well, that's. I mean, if you can make them non-sentient, then sure, go for it, dude. But like, yeah, as long as they're like feeling, thinking things, then that's tough.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's gonna be interesting though, because earlier today I compared the Doctor to ChatGPT.
We remember.
And like,
I was here, but I've already forgotten.
so like that's a huge thing, is that we have these what do they call them? Large language models or something.
Something like that,
There's
I
a
think.
name for what
Yeah.
ChatGPT is and other things like it, and they're obviously not sentient. They're obviously not.
They're robots
Yeah,
at best.
but there's going to be a point, and it's probably sooner than we think.
God, I hope not, but you're
That-
probably right.
That, well, even if they never themselves are like what we would think of as like feeling, they're gonna become indistinguishable. And at what point does something that is indistinguishable from sentience and like what point, like, because you could very much say that the Doctor, yeah, we anthropomorphize the Doctor because he acts like a person and he displays emotion like a person.
And the show is trying to prove to us he's a person.
Yeah, and it's this whole Pinocchio thing.
But if he gets home, what's Admiral Paris going to think? He's going to think, oh, you're
It's like-
programmed.
It's like, yeah, like he
Off to the mines with you.
It did a good job.
yeah, you got to we put the GPT 2000 in him, and yeah, he is designed to emulate human emotion, and he's designed to do these things to make him more relatable as a person. If you're a patient.
See, Futurama, of course, solved this problem by inventing the soul detector.
So
We've got one of those too. We're just going to have to bring Harrison Ford out of retirement. I don't know,
right.
Blade Runner? Replicants? I don't
Oh, the Voight Kampf test.
yeah.
know. Sure, yeah.
Gotta rewatch the original Blade Runner. I watched the second one without remembering anything about the first one, and I had no idea what was going on.
I feel like the second one stands pretty well on its own.
What did I keep asking you during the movie?
What's a replicant?
I don't
Just
remember.
kidding.
Why is Harrison Ford here?
Oh yeah. Until you get to the point where it's like they're directly referencing events from.
What happened? What are they referencing?
Harrison Ford fell in love with a robot girl.
Don't blame him.
Or did he? Jake is out,
Meanwhile,
Ames.
Yeah, Jake has brought us all down to we're all going to have to bow to AI soon.
No, we're just gonna have to confront the fact that we're creating a slave race of AIs.
Oh, well, that's fine.
I ain't creating
Better them than us. Meanwhile, I have no segue. I'm just gonna say it. Jesus Christ, we have one more Voyager episode to do left, guys.
holy shit.
I guess we're approaching the end game.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah, so it's a two-parter, like double-length thing. We're doing that next week. Check it out there. We're going to have lots of thoughts, I think, on the show as a whole, as well as on the series finale. We're going to talk about our favorite episodes from the last season of Voyager, and then we're going to talk about our favorite and least favorite episodes from the whole damn show. So that's going to get deep. So prepare for that. It's going to be a lot. And then after that, we've got more shit, and then eventually we'll hit Enterprise, and eventually hit the other shows, and eventually we'll all succumb to the AI.
It's all downhill from here.
We'll cover Prodigy.
And Strange New Worlds.
You liking it?
Well, I like the first season. I haven't watched the second season.
Oh, that's right.
I like the first season a lot.
Airing right now on
Paramount Plus.
No, we're not a sponsor. Why would we be?
We hate them.
I'd hate them less if they sponsored
More
us.
like Paramount minus.
Hey, got them.
But you love us, so definitely keep checking that out here. We'll check out our blog where we have all these races we just talked about over at sshppodcast.com. We're on Facebook and Twitter. We're on all the things. We'll be back next week. Until then, this has been Ames.
This has been Caitlin.
Who's Jake?
And this is always Chris.
I got nothing.
Beep boop, I'm a robot.
There you go. You did it.
Nicely done.